Every year, millions of people book their dream cruise vacation, and every year, thousands of those same passengers step off the ship feeling frustrated, overcharged, and disappointed. Not because the cruise was bad, but because of mistakes they didn't even know they were making before they ever set foot on board. If you've been thinking about a cruise, or you've already got one booked, what you're about to hear could save you hundreds of dollars and prevent some genuinely painful experiences. These are the biggest cruise regrets passengers admit after it's already too late to fix them. We're counting down from number 10 to number 1. And as always, we save the most important one for last. Number 1 is the regret that costs passengers the most, financially and emotionally. And most people have never even heard the simple phrase that prevents it entirely. Stay with us through the end. You'll be glad you did. If you find this helpful, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We cover travel tips, cruise advice, and smart vacation planning every week, all designed to help you travel confidently and get the most out of every trip. Now, let's get into it. Starting at number 10, booking every shore excursion directly through the cruise line. This feels like the safe, easy choice. It's right there in the app, it's simple to book, and the ship guarantees they'll wait for you if you're late getting back. But here's where many travelers get it wrong. That convenience comes at a serious premium. The exact same tour, visiting the exact same sites, run by the exact same local operator, often costs 30 to 50% less when booked independently. What most passengers don't realize is that cruise lines act as middlemen. They take a cut from every excursion they sell, and that markup is built directly into the price you pay. The smarter move is to research reputable local tour operators in each port before you sail. Look for companies with strong reviews on TripAdvisor or Viator. Book in advance, keep track of your ship's all-aboard time, and build-in buffer. You get a richer experience, often with smaller groups, and you keep the savings. One quick note: if you're visiting a tender port, where you take a small boat to shore, ship-sponsored excursions do get priority boarding. Factor that in when deciding. Coming up next, number 9 is a mistake that catches people completely off guard the moment they try to use their phone in port. Number 9, failing to plan for international phone and data charges. The moment your ship leaves domestic waters, your phone can start racking up international roaming charges, and they add up faster than most people expect. Passengers have come home to phone bills of $300, $400, even $500 for a single week-long cruise, simply because they didn't plan ahead. Many travelers assume their plan covers them, or they plan to use the ship's Wi-Fi and forget about it. But ship Wi-Fi is notoriously slow and expensive. And in port, if you open your phone without the right settings, your carrier kicks in automatically. Before you sail, call your carrier and ask about a short-term international add-on plan. Most major carriers offer affordable week-long packages. Alternatively, turn your phone to airplane mode and connect only to verified Wi-Fi in port. Download offline maps before you go so you can navigate without data. This is a simple fix, but it only works if you do it before departure. Most passengers who get burned never thought about it until they saw the bill. Next up, number 8, and this one surprises people who consider themselves experienced travelers. Number 8, not accounting for automatic gratuities in your cruise budget. Most cruise lines add a daily gratuity charge to every passenger's onboard account. Depending on the line and cabin category, this can run anywhere from $16 to $25 per person per day. For a couple on a 10-night cruise, that can add $400 to $500 to your final bill, and many passengers simply don't see it coming. This isn't hidden exactly, but it is easy to overlook when you're comparing cruise prices. You see a base fare, you think you know what the trip costs, and then the gratuities appear on your onboard statement. The fix is straightforward. Before you book, look up the daily gratuity amount for your specific cruise line and cabin type. Add that to your total budget so there are no surprises. Some lines let you prepay gratuities before you sail, which many experienced cruisers prefer. It's one less thing on your onboard bill and makes budgeting simpler. What's coming at number 7 is something that affects nearly every passenger, and most of them don't discover the problem until they're already at sea. Number 7. Waiting until you're on board to book specialty restaurants and shows. Modern cruise ships are remarkable. They have Broadway-style shows, world-class specialty restaurants, spa treatments, and cooking classes. But they also have thousands of passengers competing for limited reservations. The passengers who walk away disappointed are almost always the ones who assumed they'd figure it out once on board. Here's how it typically goes. You settle into your cabin, you look at the entertainment schedule, you try to book the restaurant you've been looking forward to, and every night that works for you is already full. Most cruise lines open to specialty dining and show reservations 60 to 90 days before sailing for guests who've already booked. Log into your cruise line's app or website as soon as the booking window opens and reserve what matters most to you. Treat it the same way you'd treat a restaurant reservation at a popular spot back home. It takes 20 minutes and it protects the experiences you're most looking forward to. One traveler we heard from said she waited until day 2 to try booking the sushi restaurant she'd been looking forward to for months, and found it fully booked for the entire cruise. Number 6 is a mistake that's easy to avoid once you know about it, but almost impossible to fix once you've made it. Number 6. Purchasing travel insurance directly from the cruise line without comparing options. Cruise lines offer their own insurance products, and they're prominently displayed during the booking process. It feels logical. Buy your trip, buy the protection, done. But cruise line insurance policies are often more limited than third-party policies, and they frequently come with restrictions that matter enormously if something goes wrong. The biggest issue is what's called cancel for any reason coverage. Many cruise line policies don't include it, or include a very watered-down version. Third-party policies often provide broader medical coverage, better emergency evacuation benefits, and more flexible cancellation terms. Before you accept the insurance offered during booking, spend 15 minutes comparing options on a site like Insure My Trip or Squaremouth. Enter your trip details, your ages, and your total trip cost, and you'll see dozens of comparable options side by side. You may find identical or better coverage for less money, or you may find the cruise line's policy is perfectly adequate. Either way, you'll know. Just ahead at number 5, we're getting into territory that most travelers genuinely don't think about, and the consequences can affect the entire trip. We're halfway through this list, and here's what I want you to know before we continue. The first 5 mistakes we've covered are common and costly, but the next 5 are different. They're less obvious, harder to spot in advance, and the financial and emotional impact is significantly higher. The passengers who finish this video are the ones who avoid the regrets that are genuinely hard to recover from. Keep watching. Number 5. Not booking a hotel the night before departure. This one feels unnecessary. You've booked your flights, you're excited. Why add another expense? But passengers who fly in the morning of their cruise are taking a real risk. Delayed flights, missed connections, unexpected weather. Any one of these can cause you to miss your ship entirely, and the ship will not wait for you no matter the reason. Here's what makes this so painful. When passengers miss their ship, they're responsible for getting themselves to the next port of call at their own expense. International flights, last-minute bookings, hotels in unfamiliar cities. The cost can easily exceed $1,000, and the stress is enormous. Arriving the night before eliminates that risk entirely. You sleep well, you have a relaxed morning, and you board without any anxiety about making it in time. For most passengers, a single hotel night near the port is one of the best investments they make for the entire trip. Mini example. A retired couple from Ohio once shared that a 90-minute flight delay nearly cost them their entire Caribbean cruise. They made it, but only because they'd given themselves extra time. Number 4 is something that affects your comfort every single day on board, and most passengers never think to address it before they sail. Number 4. Choosing a cabin without understanding how its location affects your experience. Cruise ships are enormous. Where your cabin sits on that ship, which deck, which part of the ship, how close to elevators, engines, or public areas has a direct impact on how comfortable and well-rested you feel every single day. Cabins directly below the pool deck, for example, can experience noise from a deck chairs being dragged across the floor early in the morning. Cabins near the elevator banks get foot traffic and ambient noise throughout the night. Cabins at the very front or rear of the ship feel more motion in rough seas, which matters significantly for passengers who are sensitive to seasickness. There is a free resource that experienced cruisers rely on called Cruise Deck Plans, and you can find detailed passenger reviews of specific cabin numbers on sites like Cruise Critic. Before you confirm your booking, look up your specific cabin number. Read what other passengers say about it. If you see consistent complaints, call the cruise line and ask to switch to a different cabin in the same category. Most lines will accommodate this with no charge if you ask before sailing. This is one of those decisions that's completely invisible until you're living it, and by then, there's nothing you can do. Number 3 is where we start to get into the mistakes that carry the heaviest emotional weight. This one is about something passengers assume is handled, and discover too late that it isn't. We are now in the final stretch of this list, and I want to be direct with you. Numbers 3, 2, and 1 are the mistakes that passengers describe with the most regret. Not just financially, but personally. These are the ones that leave people saying, "I wish I had known." The final tip, number 1, includes exact wording you can use to get something most passengers never even know to ask for. Don't leave before you hear it. Number 3, booking directly with the cruise line and skipping a specialized travel agent entirely. In the age of booking everything online, using a travel agent can feel like an outdated approach. That assumption is costing passengers real money and real benefits. Here's what most people don't understand. Cruise travel agents receive group block allocations and exclusive amenities from cruise lines that individual passengers simply cannot access when booking directly. Onboard credits, complimentary drink packages, specialty dining vouchers, cabin upgrades. These are frequently available exclusively through agencies that do high-volume business with specific cruise lines. And the agent service typically costs you nothing. They earn a commission from the cruise line, not from you. The key is to find an agent who specializes in cruises, not a general travel agent who handles a bit of everything. Look for agents affiliated with organizations like CLIA, the Cruise Lines International Association, or agencies that appear on lists of recognized Commodore or Chairman's Club level sellers for major cruise lines. Before you book anything directly, spend 30 minutes talking to a cruise specialist. Ask what amenities they can include with your booking. The answer will often surprise you. One passenger discovered after booking directly that the same cabin on the same sailing was available through a cruise agency with a $300 onboard credit and a complimentary drink package included. Number 2 is a mistake that passengers often don't discover until they're standing at the gangway on embarkation day. And by then, there is truly nothing that can be done. Number 2, failing to verify your passport validity and documentation requirements far enough in advance. Many countries require that your passport be valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel dates, not just for the duration of the cruise. If your passport expires 3 months after your return date, you may be denied boarding or denied entry at certain ports entirely. This is not a theoretical risk. Passengers are turned away at embarkation every single sailing. They show up with packed bags, years of anticipation, non-refundable cruise fares, and they are told they cannot board because their documents don't meet the requirements for the itinerary. Additionally, certain itineraries, closed-loop cruises, cruises through the Panama Canal, cruises that stop in destinations with specific visa requirements, have documentation rules that differ from standard international travel. Check your passport expiration date today. If it expires within 12 months of any planned travel, start the renewal process immediately. Processing times have extended significantly in recent years, and expedited renewal comes at an additional cost. Visit the U.S. State Department's website for current processing timelines. Also, call your cruise line's guest services number and ask them to confirm the documentation requirements for every port on your specific itinerary. Get it in writing if possible. This takes one phone call and it eliminates the single most heartbreaking thing that happens to cruise passengers. And now, we've arrived at number 1. This is the regret that passengers describe most frequently, and it's the one that is most completely preventable with a single conversation, if you know what to say. Number 1. Failing to monitor your cruise fare after booking and never asking for price drop protection. Here is something the cruise lines don't advertise. Cruise fares change constantly. The same cabin you booked 3 months ago may be selling today for $200, $300, or even $500 less per person. And most passengers never know because they booked their trip, paid their deposit, and moved on. What makes this the biggest regret is how completely avoidable it is. Most major cruise lines have a best price guarantee policy that allows passengers to receive the benefit of a fare reduction if it occurs before final payment is due. Some lines even offer onboard credit adjustments after final payment, though with more restrictions. This is what most passengers get wrong. They assume the cruise line will notify them. They won't. You have to monitor the fare yourself. Here is exactly what you do. First, note your original booking price and cabin category. Then, every 2 to 4 weeks, check your cruise line's website and search for your exact sailing and cabin type as if you were booking new. If the price has dropped, call the cruise line or your travel agent and say these exact words. I'd like to request a price adjustment. I booked cabin category, your category, on sailing, your date, and I'm seeing a lower fare available on your website today. Can you apply the current promotional rate to my existing booking? That sentence, said calmly and directly, triggers a review. In most cases before final payment, the line will apply the lower rate, move you to the new promotion, or offer an onboard credit in lieu of the cash difference. One important detail: if you've booked a non-refundable deposit fare, the terms are different. You may receive onboard credit rather than a cash adjustment. Know which fare type you've booked. Set a calendar reminder to check pricing every few weeks from the moment you book until your final payment date. After final payment, check once more. Some promotions still allow credit adjustments. This takes 10 minutes every few weeks and can save you hundreds of dollars on a trip you've already committed to. The passengers who don't do this finish their cruise wondering why the couple at the next table seems to have paid significantly less for the same experience. The answer, almost always, is that they asked. To recap the most important point from today, the single highest impact thing you can do after booking a cruise is to monitor your fare and ask for a price adjustment using that exact language we just covered. It costs nothing, takes minimal time, and the savings can be substantial. This advice is especially valuable for travelers who book early, often 6 to 12 months in advance, because that's when fare fluctuations are most common and most significant. If this helped you at all, I'd love to know. Which mistake surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. Your feedback actually shapes the next videos we make, and chances are your experience will help another cruiser avoid the same mistake. Now, if you're preparing for your first sailing, or it's been a while since your last cruise, don't stop here. You need to watch 15 cruise mistakes you must avoid on your first cruise. That video covers the mistakes that happen after you book, the ones that can ruin embarkation day, waste hours of your vacation, or cost you serious money on board. It's on your screen right now. Click it and keep going, because the smartest cruisers aren't just prepared. They're 2 steps ahead. Safe travels.